Hey, this is Jerry Cantrell.
Beautiful. Jerry, thanks for joining us today, mate.
What's happening, brother?
Not a great deal at all, my friend, but you've got a lot more happening in your world. You're actually preparing to release your new album, I Want Blood, on October the 18th, mate. Like, it isn't your first radio, bro. So you get a little nervous or anxious with the release date?
Yeah, it's the last couple of days of it being kind of semi-secret. We've got we've got a couple of songs that have been out already. Vilified, of course, the first single, and also Afterglow. So we've got a couple out there that have been living in the world and people have been responding to, and we've been playing them in the sets too. We did a couple of months on the road with Bush. Just got off the road a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it's that last little bit where it hasn't quite left the nest. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's still got that kind of special feel to it. And when it gets launched, then it's not just mine anymore. It's anybody's who wants to make a relationship with it. So anybody who digs it.
So can you tell us a bit more about it from a musical point of view and what you were going for with it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it checks all the boxes for me. When I never really sit down and start a record with some sort of intent in mind of like what kind of record I'm going to make. Luckily, I've made a lot of different kind of, rock and music and acoustic stuff in my career. So there's a lot of places you can go, and it's just you just want to follow where the music takes you naturally. And on the one, it seemed like I wanted to go heavy. So all right, let's go. Yeah.
And you just mentioned, but to date, you've dropped the singles Vilified and Afterglow. So are they a good sonic representation of the expect overall, or are they just scratch the surface?
Well, those are two of the cornerstone songs of the record. There's a handful I think that are even a little extra special, and I think those two songs definitely are for sure.
And you've been quoted as saying that there's a certain confidence to this album, mate. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, most people look at you and go, like, they couldn't imagine you not having confidence all the time. So, what do you actually mean by that?
Well, I think I would hope that most artists would feel pretty confident about their new record. If you don't, you probably shouldn't put it out. but yeah, it's making an album it's a real commitment, and it's also a real special opportunity that not everybody gets to do. So yeah, I take it really seriously. I also have a lot of fun with it too, and enjoy the process because it's a long ride, to demoing it and writing it and then recording it and then taking it out on tour. So you're looking at a 2 to 3 year commitment there, and you want to be marching out of the studio with something you feel pretty strongly about. And I think I Want Blood is it's the best record I could have made at that time. And I'd stand it up against any work I've done in my career. I feel like, so I have that confidence about it. But I make music for me, first, and if it satisfies me, I've been really lucky that it seems to do the same for a lot of people, who've been interested in work that I've been involved in, and it's rock and roll is not for everybody. But it finds its people, so it's time to throw it out there and see who grabs onto it.
And you've also said that I Want Blood is completely unlike your last solo album, Brighton. So, how's so?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a different record. It's new songs. It was made in a different time. So I've made four now: Boggy Depot, Degradation Trip, Brighton, and I Want Blood. And I dare you to say any one of those records sounds like the other one. So they're all supposed to be unique, and they shouldn't sound like your other records. You can count on your musical fingerprint being there. So I mean, it should sound like you. I guess what I was talking about earlier is, I'm pretty lucky that I can go a lot of different into a lot of different fields and zones as far as songwriting, and people seem to have followed me, when I've gone to those places, and so there's a lot of turf to play around on. What you want to do is feel like you're standing on some fresh turf, and when you do a record that you've done something new, maybe you've stepped up a little bit, hopefully you're getting better at your craft, and it's another one you can throw out to everybody and share with the world, and I definitely feel that way about this record.
The album starts with this single Vilified, which kicks in with a wicked little drum intro before the guitar gets to work. It adds a breath of colour to the whole landscape, mate. Like, is that a statement of sorts, or was it more coincidence that happened at the start of the album?
Yeah, when I was writing all of this material, and this generally is pretty close to the case with every record. It's kind of funny when you and this goes all the way back to Alice too, but when we go into the body of work and we start recording it, and it starts sounding like songs and sounding like an album, the way everybody kind of puts their own order together of how they think it should go, and it's really funny because most of the time everybody knows where it's going to start and knows where it's going to end. We're all in agreement, and so on Brighton and also on this record, I knew the opening track, and I knew the end track before I even started recording it. I knew Vilified was going to open it. It's just it's a kick in the teeth. It's a lot of energy to it. It's just 4.5 minutes of fury once it starts, and on the flip side, It Comes, I thought, was a perfect closer as well.
And I really love the album cover too, mate, which is a simple black and white picture of your face, but it's lathered in raindrops and water. Like, it's very subtle and non-confrontational, with direct contrast to the album title, I Want Blood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's that's a title that grabs you. It's a strong title, and I felt like it was appropriate for the work that it titles. So I had that song, I Want Blood, and it what it says about lyrically and just the song itself felt like something a little bit new too. But you're trying to, when you're making a record, you're trying to make things complementary, and the imagery is an important part of it too. And we did a great photo shoot with Darren Craig out here in Los Angeles, and working with Ryan Clark from Invisible Creature. He's done artwork on for the last 4 or 5 records I've been involved with. So and I trust him. He gets what we're about, and we're old school, so albums used to have really cool artwork on them. So I still want to try to make sure that that aspect of it, the visual aspect of it, is speaking as loudly as the title or the music.
Oh, the album also features a selection of pretty impressive guest musicians such as Duff McKagan, there's Robert Trujillo, Gil Sharone, Mike Bordin, backing vocals from Lola, Colette, and Puciato, mate. Like, most people would consider it a miracle to have just one of those perform on their album, let alone all of them. But don't strike me as the type of person to have big names think of it. So something must have been special about those exactly bring the sound of the album you wanted.
Yeah, well, I just got a text from Robert about an hour ago, and about the record and how excited he was that it was coming out too. And when I work outside of Alice, I go to, we're a bunch of friends anyway to this day. So it's, Alice in Chains is making music with your buddies, and so I take that same ethos when I'm working outside the band. I call my buddies, and I've been really lucky enough to involve a lot of my friends who I admire and who are some of the best musicians and from some bands that are very important to me in my life, you know, and as a musician, and I'm a fan, you know, so it's cool that they lend themselves to trying to bring in, you know, an album. I've got a certain vision that I'm trying to achieve, and it's been really great. And if you notice, you know, I think most everybody you mentioned, I've done multiple records with. So, you know, it's kind of got a family hang kind of vibe, and you know, everybody's really necessary to the process, and helps elevate it by their individual talent and their sound, and their desire to try to make some kick-ass rock and roll, you know, like I'm trying to do.
And I Want Blood is also coming out in the 2 LP vinyl variants that include an atmospheric spoken word version of the song on the album, mate. Like, I've honestly never heard of that before. Like, where did the idea come from? I like it.
Yeah, you know, it's always, you know, you try to, you know, when you're making a record, you're trying to do some fun little bits, or you know, sometimes you'll do like, you know, a cappella tracks, or you know, it's like some you know, music only, no vocal. And I was trying to think how we could do something special, and it was at the very end of the process too. Like, we were getting ready, we were already pretty much finished and getting ready to go to press, as far as, you know, pressing the vinyl, and we're trying to think about the vinyl single for Vilified, and I don't know why, but I just thought it might be cool to do like a spoken word thing of the lyrics. So I did that, and really talented guy by the name of Maxwell Urowski, who did all the demos with me for this record. He's a really talented dude and musician himself, and I listened to it, and it was okay. You know, it was okay, the spoken word, but I'm like, maybe we should put some music behind that. But I'd just written a record, and I didn't want to write any more music. I'm like, you want to put something to that? And so he came up with this great piece of music, and we put them together. He's like, you got 2 weeks, man, 2 weeks. So I put the call out to, you know, a bunch of friends that made the record with me, and a few others, like Roy Mayorga did a couple of them, who's in my touring band right now. And everybody came up with these little pieces of music, and we kind of put them together, and did a whole record of spoken word lyrics with some cool little pieces of music. Also, interestingly enough, nobody had really heard the whole record, so nobody had any reference of what the music should sound like, and it has nothing to do with the actual songs themselves. So they're all little kind of cool little creations and collaborations with my friends, and yeah, it might be something cool for a fan, just a little extra bit, and a different way to a different light to see the lyrics in, I guess.
This question hasn't got that much to do with the album, mate, but it's something that I've always wondered. Like, you've been playing guitar since grade 6, mate. But what sorts of things do you do to keep things interesting and challenging for yourself? Like, it'd almost be second nature to you by now.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a process, you know, and I'm always surprised. It's funny, I was doing some other interviews earlier today, and somebody asked me a similar question, and you know, a guitar or music in general, it's always there for you. It's always there to be picked up, you know, and I always get something out of it when I pick it up, and it's a cool thing that's it's a constant, and it's something that you can count on, you know, if you want it, it's there, you know. So you know, another part of it that makes it special is that you still feel that way, you know, after doing this for a lot of years, and you know, I still really enjoy music. I really dig making it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the final third of the process to start, you know, now, which is the touring. So
fantastic, Joey. Well, that's all I've got for you today, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, bro. I Want Blood is out on for this, and it's a damn fine album, bro. You absolutely nailed it. So congratulations and luck.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.